Set Horn, and I am a artist and activist as well as documentarian. And I fight for the rights of LGBT homeless youth in New York, particularly. Um, I identify as pansexual or bisexual, and I think it's important to use the term pansexual because it doesn't leave out trans folks, and it also doesn't leave out folks who are gender nonconforming, um, or people who just don't identify with any of those terms. So I'm a lover of all folks. Um, anyway, I'm going to answer some questions today around being in the Bi Selfie Project with Emily, who I met at In the Life Media. She is a force and an amazing woman who is bringing bi visibility to the forefront, and has been for me an inspiration. So, thanks, Emily, for doing this. Um, let's answer some questions. Okay. Um, I definitely think that Emily's project will make a difference. I know that a lot of folks think that being bisexual is just a phase or it's a stepping stone from one spot to the other, and it's not always the case. Um, I have had times where I've identified as lesbian because it was easier for people because I identify with being a queer person. And then there have been times where I've identified as being bisexual, and I feel the most, and neither of those labels really fit or made sense to me. But now that I've discovered pansexuality and that label and what that label means to the community, it means to me that I can love a lot of folks. I can be who I am, be who I want to be, and um, not leave anybody out, which is important. I think there's a lot of um, problems within the LGBT community around visibility, and I think gay men probably get the most attention as far as news and media. Um, Next would be lesbians. Um, it's also really easy to explain to someone I'm a woman that likes other women, or I'm a man that likes other men, and I don't date women, or I'm a lesbian and I don't date men. But when you have someone who says, I date women, and I date men, and I date the gender nonconforming, and I date non-cisgendered people, then, and trans folks, then you can see the wheels start to turn um, when people hear that I'm pansexual. And sometimes I make the joke that, oh, I date pants, but you know, that doesn't always go over so well. And it's also just making light of something that would normally kind of leave people, in the mystery. So I find that making a little joke about it is always a little bit healthy. Um, but anyway, I digress. There are a lot of discriminations that bisexuals deal with and pansexuals deal with. For instance, just going to the doctor can be difficult for me. Um, Explaining to them that I date both genders. Sometimes, the eyebrow gets raised. Sometimes um, folks are judgmental. Um, a lot of times the discrimination, or most times the discrimination comes, for me personally, comes from the LGBT community itself, and that folks think that it's a stepping stone from being bi to being gay, and or being pansexual, and just really being straight. I had a friend of a friend tell me that I perpetuated the negative gay stereotype that you can be gay and then graduate to being straight. And um, I completely and wholeheartedly disagree. When I'm dating a male identified person, that doesn't make me any straighter than the times that I'm dating someone who is female identified. Um, and I think it's important to not lose my queerness and my identity just because of the gender of the person that I'm dating. Um, so that's important. I think that Emily's work is super important, not just for bisexuals, but for me. And it's important for us to understand that there's a lot of work that needs to happen within the LGBT community for everyone's rights. Um, we're not just fighting for gay rights, we're not just fighting for lesbian rights, but we're fighting for everyone. The community has got to come together, and the letters have to stand together. So I'm hoping that with Emily's work and this project, things will come together and make sense, and things will change. Thanks. Bye.